Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss the taxation of bartering income. So what is bartering? Bartering occurs when two parties exchange goods or services without using cash. A simple example, I give you an apple, you give me your milk. We did an exchange, it's a business transaction, no money is exchanged. Now, as far as the IRS is concerned, this is a taxable transaction because economic value is received. The core tax rule is this. You have to look at the fair market value of the goods or services received in a barter exchange, and that must be included in the gross income in the year received. So if this apple is worth $1 and this milk is worth $1, you received $1, they received $1. So, and this applies to individuals as well as businesses. For businesses, you would have to report this on Schedule C. Basically, it's a form of income. It's a form of proceeds. Therefore, it's taxable and it's basically a business income. Schedule C. Also, in this session, we would look at the amounts not considered business income, just to clarify what's not considered business income. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, FarhatLectures.com. You are here because you are serious about mastering taxation. Whether you are taking a tax course, studying for the CPA exam, or enrolled agent, tax feels overwhelming, not because it's impossible, but because it's dense, detailed, and often taught at a pace that doesn't match the way you learn. The rules can feel disconnected, and the logic isn't always explained clearly. At Farhat Lectures, we slow it down. We explain the why behind the rules, break concept into simple steps, and rebuild your understanding from the ground up without assuming any prior knowledge. When explanation matches your learning, everything changes. The confusion fades, the rules start to connect, and tax becomes manageable. If you are ready to understand tax with clarity and confidence, start your free trial at farhatlectures.com and let's build your tax foundation together. The first thing we will discuss is the concept of fair market value, and this is an important concept you need to be familiar with. What's a fair market value? It's the price at which the property or services would change hands between willing buyer and willing seller. Sometimes it's called arm length transaction. It means we are not related, we don't know each other, we cannot pressure each other, we are just buying and selling in an open market. That's what we mean by fair market. In simple terms, what would this item normally sell for in an open market? If you listed it online, how much can you sell it for a person you don't know? That's an open market. And this determines the amount to be reported. Well, there are two important approaches to this. You can say we're going to report it as what's called agreed value. That's preferred if reasonable. If both parties agree in advance on a value, that amount is used unless it's clearly unreasonable. So if say I will paint your house, it will cost you $500. Well, in return, if you don't want to pay me $500, prepare my tax return, which is equal to $500. That's an agreed value. Or we could use market-based value. If no agreement exists, you would say, okay, this is how much I will charge for my hours. Or I would look at how much, if you want to get the service, how much you will pay for it. Or I would look at industry benchmark. So you would look at something reasonable, how much another person would have charged in your situation, and that will be the value of the exchange. Let's look at an example. Lena is a freelance graphic designer. Omar owns a small auto repair shop. Lena designed a new logo and branding package for Omar's business. In return, Omar's prefer major repairs on Lena's vehicle. That's a barter. Well, Lena would normally charge $2,000 for branding services, and Omar repair work would typically cost $2,000. Equal fair market value exchange. What did we use here? Well, here we know the amount, agreed value. So both parties agrees, if I want to give you this, it's going to cost me $2,000, and if I'm going to fix your car, it's going to cost me $2,000. So Lena would report $2,000 of income. That income is reported on Schedule C, subject to self-employment tax. Omar would report $2,000 on Schedule C, self-employment tax. So both parties recognize income even though no cash exchange hands. Great. Now we know bartering is taxable. Let's take a look at some items that are not considered business income and get them out of the way, because not everything that you receive in cash or economic benefit is considered taxable income. Some amount are not income at all, or they are temporarily, or they are deferred for later on. For the EA CPA exam, you must distinguish between true income, liability or financing, and certain items that are deferred. Take a look at some common examples that you want to kind of make sure those are not income. The issuance of common stock. When the companies sell common stock to investors, they receive income. Well, that's raising capital, not earned income. Although we have more cash, that's not income. Investors are contributing fund in exchange for ownership. This is recorded as equity, not income. Similar to that is business loan. When you borrow money from the bank, loans create liability, not income. The business has an obligation to repay. This is not an increase in wealth. Now be careful if the loan is later forgiving. Say, you know what? You don't have to pay it back. It might become cancellation of that income, and we'll discuss cancellation of that income in a separate recording. Sales tax collected. When you sell an item, you would collect 6% or 8% from the customer in sales tax. That's not your money. All what you're doing here is holding that money for the government. So when you collect the sales tax, the business is acting as an agent for the government. That's what you are. You're collecting the money on behalf of the government. That's not revenue, not an expense. It's basically a liability until you submit the payment to the government. Let's take a look at an example. Bright Events sells event decoration for $5,000. The state imposes 6% sales tax. So Bright Event would collect in total $5,300. As far as we are concerned, $5,000 is revenue, is taxable, and $3,000 is sales tax. So only the $5,000 is included in income and taxable. The $300 is recorded as a liability, and that liability is removed once you submit that money to the government. No income or expense is recognized. One more thing we need to be aware of, and we'll talk about this later on in separate recordings, but let's get it out of the way. Like-kind exchange, Section 1031, and involuntary conversion, Section 1033. Now again, you're going to have a lot to learn about those, but let's kind of get them out of the way and plant the seed if you haven't covered them yet. Those are either deferred or excluded gains. Some transactions generate gains, but the tax law allows you to either defer them, it means you can be taxed on them later, or exclude them under specific rule. Like-kind exchanges, which is Section 1031, gain is not recognized if you have an exchange. So you exchange one property into another property. It applies only to business or investment, and you have a gain. You don't have to pay taxes on the gain now. So notice the gain is deferred, not eliminated. So what happened to the gain is, how does it deferred? The basis carries over to the new property, and what's going to happen, it will reduce the basis of the new property. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry, you'll worry about that later. But Section 1031, like-kind exchanges, gains are not taxable now, they are taxable later. It means they are deferred. Involuntary conversion, Section 1033, gains may be deferred if the proceeds are reinvested. So what are we talking about here in involuntary conversion? Let's assume you had a theft or a fire or a condemnation. The government took your property, or you had a fire. What happened oftentimes, if the government took it, they will pay you something for it. There's a fire or theft, you might get reimbursement from the insurance. If you take this money and you reinvest this money properly, again, the gain here is not taxable because it was involuntary. You lost that asset. You did not want to sell it, but the government took it. Condemnation, kind of by force. And they gave you, you have no choice sometimes. The government can take it. Then, if they paid you more than what the asset is worth, You have a gain, but it's not taxable as long as you use that money to replace it with a similar asset. Same thing with fire or theft. Don't worry, we'll talk about those later. And how do we do so? Basis is adjusted. So what you need to know is there are certain items that are either not taxable or the tax is deferred. Issuance of stocks, not taxable. Loan proceeds, not taxable. Sales collected, not taxable. Like-kind exchange, deferred. The gain is deferred. Involuntary conversion, it's deferred. And if the amount is reinvested properly, if you took this money and you put it in the bank account, then the government says you gotta pay taxes on that. But we'll talk about that later. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. A taxpayer exchanges consulting services for office cleaning service of equal value. What's the correct tax treatment? So you needed your office to be cleaned. The person that wants to clean it says, if you give me some consulting hours, we'll call it even. A, no income is recognized because no cash exchange. What type of exchange is this? This is a barter. Is barter taxable? Yes. A is out. Only the consultant recognize income. Why the consultant and not the office cleaning service? It's either both or none. So one party, that doesn't make any sense, but it's both going to be both taxable. Both parties recognize income equal to the fair market value of the service provided, and the answer is yes. In a barter transaction, although no cash is exchanged, nevertheless, it's taxable. Income is deferred. There's no reason to defer. This is not an exchange. There's no deferral here. The transaction is taxable now for both party. Both party would report this on Schedule C. Now, if you're using farhatlectures.com, you could ask AI to explain the topic further, explain the correct and incorrect answer, create a similar MCQ. Whether you are an EA candidate, CPA, accounting student, don't shortchange yourself. The best investment you can make is invest in yourself. Go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs, additional resources, true false exercises, EA, flashcards. Invest in yourself, and God bless.